Hello, everyone. Welcome to Roaring Skies.
We're happy to have all of you. How are you all doing during this crazy weather season?
So, how is everybody doing today? We're going to real quick. All right, I have a.
So in this video today, ladies and gentlemen, me and Mason will be discussing the Perryville, Missouri EF4 that took place I think on February 28th, 2017.
2017. And
Yep.
I do have a video that we're going to show here in a minute here.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys for being here. I'll be
Thank you
right
all for
back.
taking the time to watch this during your busy scheduling, and I hope all of you are safe out there. And we just thank all of you for taking the time. Wait a minute, what happened? Mason. Oh, there you are. Hold on, you're muted. I can't hear you.
I took my stuff off so that the video could be front and center.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what happened, oh, Mason?
Okay, I'm gonna real quick take it off the screen here so that I can get the video up. Okay.
Okay.
Of today's episode of Roaring Skies is found on weather.gov and also in our own accounts. So thanks for watching. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm ready now. So this is a personal account of mine for the Perryville tornado that occurred in 2017. I was, at the time, 12 years old. I live in Cora, Illinois, which the tornado hit just less than half a mile away from my house. So we were under the tornado warning for it. So and Grant Dade and Brian McCormick showed debris on radar on Highway 51 just north of Perryville. So we got out of the house, went to the storm shelter, and we didn't know what was going on. So we scrambled for safety, and gladly we did, because when we went to the storm shelter pretty much 20 minutes later, the tornado was north of my house and then head straight towards Ava, which I did have friends that lost their home in the tornado. Not directly, but the tornado tilted the tree onto their mobile home. They didn't have a safe place, so they had to tub, which is not ideal for a mobile home. You should never be in a mobile home during a tornado. So that they had to go through that, but we're human, and we have to do whatever we have to go ahead and make it work. Okay, so I'm going to read from an article that KFMO AM station went ahead and wrote. So, a powerful EF4 tore through Perryville, Missouri 8 years ago on the evening of February 28th, 2017, leaving one person dead, multiple others injured, and dozens of homes and vehicles destroyed. The tornado, with estimated peak winds of 180 miles per hour, carved a 50-mile path of destruction from Perry County into southern Illinois. The authorities confirmed the storm claimed the life of a 24-year-old man who was ejected from his vehicle on I-55 when the tornado crossed the interstate at mile marker 133. We're gonna real quick pop back in here real quick. I'll
Yeah.
return the video in a little bit. Oh, it just took the video out of the thing.
Oh, out of the stream?
I have to real quick add it back.
Okay.
So, that was part of my account of this tornado.
Yeah.
And I also had additional information. Like I did try to real quick. This was the tornado that hit parts of this was my friend's house south of Ava. I tried showing it while the video was playing, but it wasn't allowing me at that point. So this was the damage from my friend's house. The tornado it tilted the tree down onto their house.
And that's horrifying.
They hid in the bathtub for that one. So that was what was going on there. And obviously, whoops.
You're good.
So
I'm still here.
At this point, the tornado went through more areas, and I did also mention that, which you'll see here in a second here. We'll be popping in periodically throughout this video. Let's get multiple others injured and dozens of homes and vehicles destroyed. The tornado, with estimated peak winds of 180 miles per hour, carved a 50-mile path of destruction from Perry County into southern Illinois. The authorities confirmed the storm claimed the life of a 24-year-old man who was ejected from his vehicle on I-55 when the tornado crossed the interstate at mile marker 133, which I added because I know what mile marker the tornado crossed. It crossed mile marker 133 in northern parts of Perryville near Brewer. So, my experience. So, this article from WSIL, Nick Housen went ahead and wrote this. After hitting Perryville, the twister, over a half-mile wide at this point, crossed the Mississippi River just south of Rockwood in Randolph County. On the ground for over an hour and tracking 50 miles, the tornado destroyed several homes near Oroville and passed over 127 just south of Virgins and leaving the roof of a home on the highway. Further east, the tornado tracked just north of Elkville, continuing on a path into Franklin County before ending south of Mulkeytown. While the EF tornado was the strongest of the day, in all, 7 tornadoes touched down in southern Illinois, southeast Missouri, and western Kentucky. A separate EF3 tornado started near Carmi and tracked 44.6 miles into southern Indiana, killing a man near Crossville, which is along the Wabash River and is bordering Indiana. Okay, so after we went out of the storm shelter, we actually went back to my grandparents' house in Cora, and we stayed the night there because the power was out, and also there was more severe weather expected overnight. So that wasn't the last time that we were scared for our lives, because later on in the morning, there would be a new tornado warning issued for Jackson County, which allows for an EF0 tornado at 4 a.m. that went ahead and impacted parts of Jackson County just to the east of Carbondale and just to the west of Carbondale and just to the east of Murfreesboro, just south of Walmart, was where this tornado occurred, which it was an EF0 tornado and was the weakest tornado of the outbreak. I have just one more story to say. So, my dad, he went ahead and went out of town to see what happened, and Reed Timmer actually stopped my dad and was like, you cannot go into that county right now. There are power lines down everywhere. Do not go into Randolph County. Okay, so may I add real quick that there were power lines everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. School was off the next day.
So a mile of power lines were down in Randolph County in Rockwood. From the floodgates to Rockwood, a whole mile of power lines were down. So that's something we have to also say there too. All right, back to the video now. Because there are power lines down. So my dad pretty much talked to Reed Timmer that night. And that's not the first time Reed Timmer's been in our region. He was also in the region for a wind event that occurred in the city of Chester, which that storm produced 90 plus mile per hour winds and produced significant damage in parts of Chester, especially in the southern part of Chester on Route 3, where my cousin Brittany, her thing for her electricity, her meter of electricity, it got torn off of her house. So she was out of power for a week. And Ameren made her pay for a new one, even though this one was not her fault. This was normal nature thing, but honestly, this storm was very unexpected. Across the bridge into Perry County, Missouri, that storm went ahead and there's a gas station. There's two gas stations across the bridge, one to the left and one to the right. The one to the left of the bridge, the roof that's on top of the gas station was flipped onto the building, which it was horrific to see there. And I was shocked that storm didn't even hit my area. And then last summer we actually had a storm near Bremen, and that storm went ahead and went there and tore off the roof of the St. Mary brick-covered bridge. And that just reopened recently, actually. So this is just me mentioning our other notable weather events. And also, we just had the Marion EF4 tornado, high-end EF4, by the way. Nick was saying something about it having a very strong debris ball. I remember it. I was watching it on radar. I was like, there is a debris ball just south of Marion. And I was saying something about it, and then I heard, like, I was at my grandparents' house, and I heard Megan, my goodness, I think it was Cassie Campbell actually, that mentioned that they were about to issue a tornado emergency. So at that point, I texted one of my friends and told them, hey, a tornado emergency is about to go into effect in your area, I believe, so you may want to seek shelter. And as soon as I texted him that, he got the notification on his phone that a tornado emergency had been issued for his area. So I texted him right as they were issuing that tornado emergency for Marion. Which to date, the tornado emergency for Marion is probably the biggest tornado emergency I have ever witnessed, besides the ones in the Boot Heel for December 10th through the 11th, and also on April 2nd as well. I witnessed there. That was the end of that video.
And Mason, I gotta ask you, I think your story is really cool, and thank you for agreeing to do this with me and give me your story. But do you care if I give you mine?
Yeah, I think I was trying to let you do it, but then it disconnected you on the first recording. By the way, guys, we did a recording of it beforehand, but it messed up a lot.
Oh, oh yeah, it did. Let me fix this a little bit. There we go.
It messed up a whole lot.
And Mason, that's just crazy because the storm affected you in that way, and the way the storm affected me was, well, ladies and gentlemen, the storm affected me this way. So here's how it goes. I woke up, and then I follow a lot of weather coverage and stuff on Facebook, right? So I get to school, and then I go to my cooking class, which the cooking class teacher, her name is Miss Getz. She's she's one of those teachers that you just love just to love. You know what I mean? So
she's a sweetheart.
Yes, she is. We were, I think, preparing for a dessert food thing that day, and we were doing, the paperwork on this many measurements and this and that. And then after class, I stayed after class to talk to Mrs. Getz, and I said, Miss Getz, what are your thoughts on what's going to happen tonight? And she said, Nicholas, I don't know. It's just one of those things we're going to have to wait and see. And looking at how the models just, stayed this extreme, it's one of those things where, uncertainty, you don't know what's going to come. You don't know what it's going to bring. It's just one of those things, I can't describe it to you, the fear of unknown. So the whole school day, I'm just on the edge of my seat, just thinking of what's going to happen. But of course, I had the mindset of, your stereotypical person who has tornado warnings all the time in like Oklahoma or Missouri. We have bad weather all the time, and it doesn't really do anything here. But little did I know how much of a fool I would be made of later that night. So crazy thing, whenever I got home, I lived with my dad and my little brother at the time. So I got home and I told them about the weather. And of course, they were like, Nick, bad weather happens here all the time, and we don't really expect anything of it. So my dad had to go to Walmart that night. And then I had to stay home and do some science homework. So whenever I was doing that science homework, I was just, filling it out, and we had a quiz coming up, I think, or so, and I was just trying to pay attention to it. But just out of curiosity,
Nick, real quick,
since it was, what's up?
This is a significant tornado index at 6 p.m., I believe.
Yeah, right about the time my dad left to go to Walmart was when all of this whenever I saw something like this. And seeing stuff like this and seeing stuff all over Facebook from storm chasers that I just happen to like and follow, I just I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was supposed to be paying attention to my science homework, but in a time
Hey,
like
by the
this,
way, off topic real quick. Do you like the scrolling thing in the bug that I have on the screen?
dude, it's awesome. I like it, man. I'm gonna download this to my phone, and I'm gonna add a lot more of
Oh,
stuff
this
to
one,
this. I'm
this
gonna
is on the
increase.
web. This is a
Oh,
web thing. It's
that's awesome.
StreamYard.com.
That is amazing, man. I'm telling you, I'm gonna love doing interviews with people, and we're gonna have a lot of fun together doing this. I'm gonna invite some people I know to join us, but I gotta go back to topic. So I was doing science homework, and then my dad had to take, I think, my grandma and my brother and his friend Logan to Walmart, which Walmart's about a 20-minute drive or so from where we lived. So I had to stay home, and I was focused on my science homework. But seeing forecast models like this, which for those of you who don't know and aren't in the weather world, this is absolutely insane for the month of February. But
Absolutely.
as I'm just doing my homework, just curiosity just gets the better of me. So I just turn on one of the local news stations, KFVS 12, and then I see that there is a tornado warning over by Perryville. So of course I think nothing of it.
Oops.
All of a sudden, Grand Dade, I think the chief meteorologist shows the debris
Yep.
ball on screen. And then once he shows the debris ball on screen, I start losing my mind, and I'm telling him, and I'm like, Dad, when are you gonna be back from Walmart? I think this one's gonna be the big one that we've been talking about for a while. And then he goes, Son, I'll
This,
be home in
by
a
the way,
little
this
bit.
is the Cape from 11 p.m. that night. The red right here resemble like the red. This one, the middle is
Let me look at
2,000.
that.
Then 1,000 joules per kilogram is where that red is. I'm surprised that there wasn't more tornadoes
Mm-hmm.
before that main line came in.
Absolutely, because I was thinking it was just going to be a squall line event. Not. I think it was. I thought it was going to be like a QLCS or like a squall line. Not like a,
Isolated
yeah,
tornado event.
yeah. I couldn't think of the word, but yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. But
Yeah.
so once I see the debris ball on TV and I see that there's an actual tornado on the ground, I call my dad again and I'm like, Dad, when are you going to get home? It's really getting bad over towards Perryville, and they're saying it might cross the river here soon. And then my dad's like, Son, just please focus on your homework. And then at the time, I did have some science stuff I had to get to for a project I had coming up. So rightfully so, he told me to do that. But 20 minutes later, I see the storm crosses the river, and it's now moving over by Chester and Rockwood, which happened to be where you were near at the time.
Rockwood.
So
I was in Cora. Like I went. Okay, so if you looked at the photo that Reed Timmer took, that wasn't that far away from my house. It crossed Route 3 just barely north of my house. I was close enough to my house that the River Frank downdraft actually impacted my town. We had a lot of we went out of the storm shelter. We had a lot of debris.
Yeah.
Like the tornado had been hitting multiple structures and multiple trees because the where it was crossing Route 3 was forest area.
Yeah.
Because as you know, Southern Illinois is mostly Shawnee National Forest.
Yeah.
So it destroyed part of the national forest.
And that's a crazy.
And by the way,
thing to think
this
about.
picture is also from the national forest. But
My Lord.
that's the home that was damaged by the tornado.
Yeah. Look at the tree right there, like that's uprooted. Man. It's hard to believe that this happened here, Mason. That's a hard thing to believe. But yeah, around this time that all this was going on near you, and once it started to cross the river and getting more towards like Willis.
Okay, so I have real quick a story to tell. So a photo from Perryville actually ended up in Trico's yard.
Really?
From the tornado. Lacey actually found the photo.
And Lacey actually found it?
No, my Lacey.
Oh, okay.
She was my aide. She actually found in Trico's yard the
photo from
Trico's
Perryville.
elementary a family photo.
So that tornado carried that photo, what, about 30 to 40 miles or so?
Probably 20 to 30 maybe.
Yes, but still, that's an insane distance. That must be one crazy thing to figure out, and then
I
like
mean,
I
the
said,
tornado was an EF4 as it was in Perryville, so
I know it's a crazy thing to think about that what these forces of nature can do, but it's just crazy, y'all. Because like I said, when all this was going on with him, I call my dad for a third time and tell him that it crossed the river into Illinois, and then he's like, and then before I did that, he's all like, "Son, what do you want from McDonald's? I'm gonna get some." And then I call him right after that, and I'm like, "Hey, you coming home? Because it's starting to look bad." And then I hear his voice change a little bit to, "Okay, I'll be home in a minute." And then he pulls up to the driveway, and it was like a scene from a movie. You know what I mean? There's tornado sirens going off. There's people blowing up mine and his phones, and everyone in the house's phones left and right. There's people telling us to get under. There's people calling us, texting us, blowing our phones up, telling us to get underground. And it was just pouring down rain. There's wind. There's
and by
tornado
the way,
sirens going off.
you guys were not under the tornado warning.
I know, but for some reason the sirens in Willisville went off.
Oh, I think this was back when they still had it countywide.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
off.
Because the sirens were going off, and I would be our neighbors who actually had a basement. We were actually gonna go over there, but come to figure out the storm was moving away from us. But still, I went outside, and Mason, I can't describe it to you any other way than this. So I go outside, and it's totally dark out at this point, and I can't describe it. It's raining, and it was hot out there. Normally, whenever it rains, ladies and gentlemen, or at least where I'm at, it cools or I'm Mason. Did it cool the temperature down for you? Because the rain was coming down hard.
It made it hotter.
Yeah, that's just what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, and me standing outside, and
like
it
was weird, like downdraft that was going ahead, and
yeah, and that was crazy because I went outside and I've never seen lightning that intense, just strike after strike.
What's currently on the stream here is the tornado track.
Yep. And those little red triangles you guys see, those are EF4 indicators. And then that's where the tornado.
And the last EF4 indicator was in parts of Franklin County.
Yeah.
As you can see near the end of the tornado cycle. And as you can see, this tornado hit south of Ava.
I know. And it's just a crazy thing to think about how long this tornado was on the ground for and how many, and then that it produced EF4 damage, because the last significant tornado that we had after this was, I think, the Chester EF3 that occurred back in 2021, I think, was the last significant one we had.
I'll have to check. We actually had our last significant actually was the Marion tornado we had recently.
Yeah, but I'm talking like before the Marion tornado, because there was this one, and then there was the Chester EF3, because I remember that night.
Okay, so I actually have a photograph of the radar at the time that this tornado was crossing into Randolph County. This is from the National Weather Service in St. Louis. One moment while I get this photo.
But yeah, that's just crazy that it was that.
Here we go.
Look at that.
This was as it was crossing into Randolph County from Jackson County.
You see that couplet right there?
Does it show my mouse cursor on your screen or no?
No, it doesn't. But ladies and gentlemen, do you see that spot like right near Rockwood where that green and red are intersecting right there? That's not good. That's really not good.
Like this was the and it's very well in its infancy.
Yeah.
At the time, by the way, you can actually get the you can actually blur your background if you mess around settings a little bit.
Okay.
But so this tornado obviously was very violent when it was moving in.
Yeah, because ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know how to read radar, right by that town Rockwood, where that green and red are kind of intersecting right there, that's not good. That's really not good. Because, I mean, it's not the most impressive rotation you'll see on radar. There's crazier ones that me and Mason have seen, but for our area, seeing something like this, knowing that it's near you, it's something different. You know what I mean? It goes back to that old saying, it hits too close to home. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna real quick go ahead and this photo is from just north of my house.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
But
This
still,
photo is to the north of my house. Um, and this was the tree damage that was left behind by that tornado.
my goodness, just trees and trees just mowed over.
And that's not the only thing. A house was actually lost in Randolph County. They chose not to rebuild the house. They chose to tear it down. Even though I'm just going to show you what it looked like after the tornado went out. So this was the home after the tornado.
Oh yeah, you can see some shingles are kind of stripped off right there.
And that part near the chimney was a little torn. So they chose to tear the house down and instead have a RV there now. An RV is there now.
Oh,
instead of that house.
Okay.
So they chose not to rebuild. They just went ahead and, of course, did what they had to do. Did what they had to do to go ahead and be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the first tornadoes occurred in Reynolds County and Madison County. Around 6:40, a tornado touched down near Lesterville and was on the ground for 8 minutes. It was an EF1. And this was a near Horseshoe Ranch Road.
Yeah.
I'm going to real quick put a picture up. This is not the picture yet, but it'll be up soon here. One moment. So this was from Horseshoe Road. This was from the EF1 that occurred.
Yeah.
It flipped a camper.
Wow. Oh. Which this goes back to what we was talking about earlier before the stream, Mason. Mobile homes, campers, and cars are absolutely horrible places to be during tornadoes. Get to a more substantial shelter, and if you are out and about in a vehicle, do not go under an overpass. Find a ditch or a more sturdy shelter, because that overpass is not going to help you at all.
And this is what the storm looked like at the time the tornado was occurring.
Wow.
And by the way, Reynolds County is in an area where we would call a radar dead zone.
Oh, yikes. That's not good.
So I don't think at the time that this storm was on the ground, I don't think there was a tornado warning. Because, I mean, the rotation definitely looks like a rotation that you would have a warning for. But you pretty much, that area, you have to rely absolutely on spotters.
Yeah, exactly. Because look at just by Lesterville. Do you see ladies and gentlemen? Once again, do you see where that red and blue is? I would have had a tornado warning issued on that.
Yeah, and then we're gonna real quick move on to the tornado that occurred just to the northwest of just to the west of Fredericktown.
Yeah.
And by the way, there was a tornado warning with this one. I do remember. There was
Okay.
actually a tornado warning with the tornado that occurred in Fredericktown on February 28th. I'm going to remove that one real quick and then add this. So this is what the rotation looked like. This was when the tornado was on the ground just to the north of Fredericktown.
And ladies and gentlemen, do you see that little like divot where like the yellow disconnects from the main part of the storm? That's what we. That's not your stereotypical hook echo, but it's starting to form it a little bit. And in the area once again where you see the red and that little bit of blue and all that around that area, that's rotation. You know what I mean? So just a quick radar 101 for those who aren't familiar with what we're talking about. And man, look at the hail on that thing. Look at the hail up by, what the heck is that?
Noblick, not Libertyville and Noblick.
Look at the hail on that thing. My goodness. I guarantee you some people in that area probably had to get some new windshields or something because, man, that is bad. I've never seen hail that bad in this area before.
Okay, so I need to address real quick that area is mostly rural area.
Yeah.
That's mostly rural area, southeast Missouri. Just letting everyone know that. And by the way, these are the tornadoes that occurred before the Perryville tornado occurred.
Yeah.
They were part of the same storm, but these rotations were beforehand. So just wanted to let y'all know. No, okay, so here's some damage photos. So this tornado was an EF. Let me check real quick. This was an EF0.
Yeah.
It moved this gravestone. It was strong enough to move that gravestone. Then also there was this that occurred.
Man, that tree completely snapped.
Yes, and then there's this photo as well. Which this is from the Perryville. This is from the storm that occurred before the Perryville tornado occurred. And that and those I think were about all the tornadoes that occurred before that tornado. Then there was also tornadoes that occurred outside of that area, which they also went ahead and said something about. So around 9:33 p.m., a tornado touched down in Brown County near Versailles. This was an EF1 tornado. And let's show you the damage that occurred with this one because it's just horrific. Actually, this one's a little more horrific than I remember. So give me 1 second while I add all these sources to the stream real quick so that we can share them all. And by the way, you can find all of this information on the National Weather Service website at weather.gov. This specific information will be at weather.gov/LSX, which is St. Louis. So let me show you this one.
My goodness, that was a mobile home at one point?
Yes, this was an EF1 tornado with winds of 110 miles per hour. So it was 1 mile per hour from being rated an EF2.
Which goes back to what I said earlier. Mobile homes are horrible places to be during tornadoes.
And then here's another photo.
Man, look at those trees.
And then now I'm going to show the radar at that point.
Yeah, you can see the rotation a little bit, like I'm crossing that road just south of Mount Sterling. You can see it a little bit.
And by the way, this tornado warning was not a confirmed tornado warning.
It should have been.
The storm did not show debris on radar. There was no spotters on it. All the spotters were in southern Illinois and southeast Missouri because of the higher risk.
Yeah.
So nobody saw this one besides the law enforcement and for sales. Which honestly, we need spotters in all risk areas, not just the biggest ones.
Exactly.
Because you see what happened like multiple weeks ago in, I think it was May.
Yeah.
We had an EF0 tornado occur in St. Louis on a level 0 day.
I know, I saw that. I was like, man, St. Louis is the hotspot or the hotspot city this year.
And then there was also an EF3 tornado that hit the same day as the Marion tornado, I think.
That hit St. Louis.
Yeah, that hit St. Louis and Granite City.
I know. I saw the damage because I went to a concert literally 1 week later up by Delmar Boulevard or Lane or whatever it's called. And I saw some of the damages to roofs and buildings. And it's just crazy to drive by buildings that you drove by your whole life and see windows blown out and roofs blown off.
And by the way, mentioning the St. Louis tornado, the government failed them.
Yeah, for sure.
The fire department failed them. The fire department is supposed to run the tornado sirens. And for some reason, the tornado sirens were not going off in the city of St. Louis for this tornado warning. They were refusing to turn on. And the tornado, how that tornado warning went from a tornado warning straight to a PDS tornado warning 3 minutes after it was issued. 3 minutes after the tornado warning was issued for St. Louis, they went ahead and issued a PDS tornado warning because it showed debris and it was confirmed. And people were stopped under an overpass on I-270. So
overpasses are horrible places to be.
And that whoever's idea was that, you just put thousands, maybe millions of people in danger. Thousands, maybe millions of people in danger if you do that.
Well, the population of St. Louis is not a million, but I get what you're saying, though.
The people who are driving through St. Louis.
Yeah.
Is what I'm talking about. So,
yeah, no, I get you.
So, especially this being an EF3 tornado, high-end EF3 tornado.
And wasn't it rain-wrapped for most of its life?
Yes, it was extremely rain-wrapped. But you could see it from the Earth camera across the river in East St. Louis. Like, you could see it. Like, you could probably, if CamoVs showed their camera during that tornado in parts of downtown, they could probably see it.
Did you see the picture of it? Like, whenever this one guy's standing on top of the arch and he took a picture of it?
Yeah, I also saw the Earth video.
Crazy to think about, ain't it?
And obviously, this is not the first violent tornado that's hit St. Louis.
Oh no, no.
Good Friday 2011, a tornado occurred in St. Louis.
Yeah, it struck Lambert International Airport.
It struck the international airport in, I believe it's in Maryland Heights.
I'm
Is
not
where
exactly
Lambert is
sure.
in? Because isn't it by Hollywood Casino Amphitheater? It's right across from it.
I don't think so, but I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that whole area, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna real quick go ahead and go to maps here. Gonna zoom out here. Yeah, it's just across 270 from the amphitheater. Okay, so Lambert is across 70
Yeah.
from there. Where is the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater? It's not exactly showing it right now.
Hey Mason, I'm still new to this whole streaming thing. How are you putting all of these like pictures and stuff in the videos? I want to. There's a couple pictures. There's a picture of the St. Louis tornado that I would like to show.
If it's copyrighted, we can't show it. We have to get explicit permission. Like those photos I've been showing, they're from the National Weather Service themselves.
Okay.
So it's public information. But if like it has logos on it, I don't show it.
Okay.
For respect of the person that uploaded it. But National Weather Service, are you just laying in your chair there?
I'm chilling right now. I'm just thinking.
Your camera's high.
Yeah, it's sitting at the very tip top of my computer. Right here. It's got and the reason it's like bright was because there's like a little light on this thing. I need to get a ring light to make this thing just a little bit brighter.
Oh, I think it's because you were kind of slouching in the chair for a minute there.
Yeah, I was just chilling for a second, just chiming in every now and then.
So I went ahead and put on my shirt so that I put on a shirt, like a white shirt.
Yeah.
Obviously, I kept another shirt on, but I was like, okay, let's make it look fine.
You cold or something?
No, just so my I look a little better in the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already almost 5 a.m.
I know. I was gonna say, do you want to keep going, or do you want to just wrap this up?
Okay, so I hope. All right. I hope everyone has a good day. Right now, let me real quick give a radar analysis so that we can end it on a high note.
Exactly. But I just want to make one more thing clear that once again, I know I've said it in like maybe 2 or 3 times so far, ladies and gentlemen, but I cannot reiterate this enough. You've seen the photos: mobile homes, trailers, campers and cars are horrible places to be during tornadoes. You need to be in a substantial shelter, or if you are out and about, do not go to an overpass. You are better off going into a ditch than you are an overpass because so many tornado fatalities have occurred from overpasses.
Yeah, absolutely. Then let's real quick look at the radar here.
Well, it looks like we got nothing going on particularly right now. It looks pretty quiet. But then again, we are in a drought, so it don't surprise me.
Go real quick look through the radars here.
Gonna check my
Springfield into Oklahoma. There is a little activity in Oklahoma and Kansas that has hail markers as well. So this is what the radar looks like currently in parts of Oklahoma and Kansas.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that our friends in parts of in parts of Kansas and Oklahoma will have to watch throughout today. At this point, there's no severe weather threat today.
No,
we do have a flash flooding threat though.
Yeah, it's been pretty quiet here lately. Anytime we go for a long period of time without severe weather, just always puts me on edge because for 2021 in our area, like the severe weather threat from October to December was just absolutely mind-boggling. Like I said earlier, the EF3 that went by Chester and the EF3 that hit, I think it was Granite City or Edwardsville that took out that Amazon warehouse.
That was you're talking about December 10th.
Yes.
Okay, so the Bremen tornado, the Bremen Chester tornado occurred in October 24th, I believe.
21,
and
yeah.
21. I believe that. So that tornado was weak compared to the other ones that we've had.
Absolutely. The Marion tornado, it's the strongest tornado we've had since the Washington tornado. And by the way, I just want to say this, everybody. I should have said it earlier, so if you'll forgive me for that. But if any of you have stories you would like to share to the world, please contact me or Mason. We would love to hear your stories and love to hear stories from survivors on the ground because I've always thought it was amazing to hear it from a first-person perspective rather than just if you're a storm chaser, police officer, firefighter, whatever, just if you have a story to share, please contact me and Mason.
All right.
We would love to get your story and put it out there if you're okay with that. If there's certain things you do not wish to discuss, then we will not talk about it. But if you are comfortable telling, just find a way to get a hold of me or Mason.
All right. So this is today's flash flooding threat. So there's a level 1 of flash flooding today for parts of Sparta and parts of so it's for Sparta, Carbondale, Cape Girardeau. So Cape Girardeau, Sykeston, Paducah, Rosiclare, they're under the level 2 threat of flash flooding today. So if you guys are in those areas, please be weather aware today with what goes on tonight into tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm actually going to real quick go into the forecast again and go
just keep your head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and obviously we definitely will have to watch the forecasting of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all we have.
Yep. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Mason, thank you for sharing your story with me, Mason. And I'm happy to share mine with you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you or anyone you know has a weather story to tell, we would love to hear your story. And
no matter if it's a tornado or winter events, even.
Yeah, exactly. Tornadoes, hurricanes, just whatever you would like to share. We would love to get it on Roaring Skies and get your story out there if you have one to tell.
Absolutely. Please subscribe to my channel since right now we're going to have this on here. We're going to try to get Nick's to work, but for now, we're going to have it occur here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next
video.
Bye.
Bye-bye.